Welcome back, trainers. So the next community day has been announced. Shiny Mudkip, of course, Marshtomp, and Swampert. Now, as you know, the move is never announced right away, but we can probably take a good guess and say we're going to get Hydro Cannon. But if you're thinking, but Poke, Muddy Water has been introduced into the game files. What about that? Well, we're going to talk about that as well. And a few other things that you need to know about the future of this Pokemon and other Community Day Water-type Pokemon, such as Empoleon, and why you should probably hold off on making as many Swamperts as possible, although it's still going to find some good usability regarding PvP. And with that said, let's get into the video. Alright, so let's get into the information you need to know about this Community Day. This image was made by LeakDuck, and I will be leaving a link in the description so you can check them out on Twitter as well. So of course, we're going to have the increased spawns for the Mudkip, which you can possibly find a shiny variants. ×3 catch XP. Now there was a bit of confusion as to if it was going to be ×3 catch Stardust, but apparently it has been all fixed and it's going to be ×3 XP. Unfortunately, I would have enjoyed that Stardust as much as anybody else. And of course, we're going to have those 3-hour lures. Now, as you can see, the shiny variances for the specific Pokemon, Mudkip, Marshtomp, and Swampert. Mudkip is going to have the more pinkish color, and then it's going to kind of transition into a violet purple looking color for the other two. I like the design, and if you're wondering and saying to yourself, what's with all of the pink shiny Pokemon? Well, it is what it is, and always remember that Niantic is definitely not making these shiny variances. The Gamefreak and Pokémon Company had these designs way before Pokemon Go was ever even released. Right. Now, this is all going down Sunday, July 21st from 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. your local time. And remember, you're going to have that 1-hour period to evolve those afterwards to get that exclusive move. More than likely, it's going to be Hydro Cannon. Now, if you're wondering about Muddy Water, what about that move? Well, Blaziken did receive that new move, Blaze Kick, and we simply just had to TM it, and we would have gotten it after a certain amount of tries. If you were lucky, you may have gotten it your first try, but it was available for you to simply TM it or purchase a secondary move, and it may just appear there for you. I think we're going to get something similar for this as well, but only time will tell. So there you have all of the information regarding the Mudkip Community Day. This is an actual pretty good one. And now let's go ahead and get into the comparison of the other water starter Pokemon and talk about the future, as well as doing a few comparisons of DPS for PvE and PvP with the other water type Pokemon, so you know exactly which ones you need for specifically what reasons. And if you're a little confused on that, well, we'll get into it and you'll understand a little bit more here in just a moment. Alrighty, so we have Blastoise, Feraligatr, and Swampert pulled up here. We're going to be going over Empoleon in just a moment. So Blastoise is a fairly tanky Pokemon. It works pretty good for PvP in the Great League. And then Feraligatr, as we know, is an extremely good water attacker. But it's not going to be outperforming Kyogre, but it's going to be something that it's going to not cost you as much rare candies and resources to possibly power up, seeing that you're able to catch a whole bunch on that community day, possibly trade a few and get luckies, as opposed to Kyogre. It's going to be a little bit harder to obtain a lot of those candies if you're not able to raid a bunch and receive those rare candies, or if you're not able to get out there currently right now and do those Kyogre raids, in which myself, I have not done one since it returned yet. I don't know what I was thinking, but I will be out there later today for that Kyogre raid hour. Now, Blastoise with an attack of 171, Feraligatr 205, and then we have Swampert beating Feraligatr with an attack of 208. So what does that mean? Is the Swampert going to be outperforming Feraligatr? Yes and no, because Feraligatr does have Waterfall, and Swampert is going to have Water Gun as far as the water moves are concerned. Then if we look at Blastoise defense, it's sitting at 207, Feraligatr 188, Swampert 175. And then the stamina for the Blastoise is going to be at 188, Feraligatr 198, and then Swampert taking the cake yet again with 225. So what does this mean? Does Swampert going to come in and be the best water starter currently? Not quite. It's going to be good, as well as great for PvP as well, because it does have a fantastic quick move, which we'll be going over as well. But as far as the raw damage here, Swampert is going to be winning. Feraligatr is going to be still pretty good, but we need to go over the whole calculations as far as the water gun and waterfall comparison between Feraligatr and Swampert. Now, let's go ahead and see where Empoleon is going to land in all of this, because it is going to be another water starter in the future. So we have Swampert sitting at 208 for attack, for Alligator 205, and then Empoleon now taking the win at 210. Its stamina and its defense are okay. For Alligator is going to have a bit more defense, but 2 points is really not much, as well as 1 point for the stamina. But then Swampert will be taking the win yet again with over 200 stamina there. Now it's going to come down to typings and what you're trying to use them for, but if you want raw power, it's looking like, well, Empoleon is going to definitely be beating for Alligator because it also does have Waterfall. As far as the Swampert, it's not going to have Waterfall, it's going to have Water Gun. So you may want to consider that when making a whole bunch, but we need to take a look at the DPS for PvP and PvE for you to make a complete determination in which ones you want for specific reasons, because you're definitely going to want these Swamperts because they're going to be doing pretty good in PvP. So with that said, let's go ahead and see where they're going to be landing. Alright, so we are over here on Game Press taking a look at the water starters, Empoleon, Swampert, for Alligator, and Blastoise to see where they're going to land. Now, this current comparison that we're looking at right now is going to be raw DPS as well as for PvE going up against gyms and raids. So number one is going to be Empoleon with Metal Claw and Hydro Cannon. As you can tell, it's not going to have that pure water set quite yet. Then for the pure water set out of all four of these starters, it's going to be Swampert taking the win with Water Gun and Hydro Cannon. So there you go regarding that. And then another Swampert with Mud Shot and Hydro Cannon, and Empoleon with Waterfall and Hydro Cannon. So as you can see, it is going to be outperforming Blastoise easy, and then outperforming for Alligator just by a little bit. Still going to be doing more. So if you made a whole bunch of for Alligators, you know, this is why I do not max out a whole bunch of these things. But also take note that Kyogre is going to be the best water attacker, even outperforming all of them easy with Waterfall and Hydro Pump. So simple as that. And then moving down after the for Alligator with Waterfall and Hydro Cannon, we're going to have Bite, Hydro Cannon, and then Swampert with Water Gun and Surf, then Empoleon with Metal Claw, Hydro Pump, and then finally Blastoise with its Community Day move with Water Gun and Hydro Cannon at that lower end there. Right. Now if we move up and we go to PvP, let's go ahead and see where they're going to be landing now and see who's going to be the best. All right, now taking a look at PvP, we do have Swampert sitting at the top with Mudshot and Hydro Cannon. Now, this is something to take note of, because if you're missing out in some of these Silph Arena Cups and you do not have specific starters with their Community Day moves, make sure you make plenty of Swamperts under 1500. I'm not talking about a full team of 6, but maybe why not? Because people may need those and you will have something to trade them of value. Because it is going to be working fantastic in PvP, especially if you had a shiny variant. Well, that's definitely going to be some trade material there that people may want if they did miss out on this Community Day, or if they simply did not evolve one low enough to be in the Great League under 1500 CP. So take note of that. So this is going to be PvP, like I said. And next up we have Water Gun and Hydro Cannon. So the Water Gun variants is going to be doing absolutely great as well. And then Empoleon, the one in the future, this is, you know, we don't have this yet. I'm just trying to show you the numbers so you can have a good idea as to what's to come and how many of these Swamperts you should make. Swampert is going to be absolutely fantastic, even in PvE, going up against gyms and raids. So make sure you are ready for this. Have a few luckies that you are possibly going to max out, because it's going to be performing fantastic as a pure water attacker. But like we already went over as well, that Kyogre is going to be the best water attacker. Specifically for Swampert though, you're going to want them for the Great League, right? Because it's going to be able to get off that Hydro Cannon at an extreme rate with that Mud Shot. And even if you had Water Gun, that's still a great water quick move, very fast. Its energy gain is pretty decent, but you will have that pure water attack to back you up. So there are the numbers there. Just wanted to bring you this. Empoleon is going to be doing pretty good in the future, definitely outperforming for Alligator. So if you did make a whole bunch for Alligators and max them out, I mean, they're still going to be okay, but we just keep coming up on these newer Pokemon that are going to be outperforming the next and the next and the next. And where is all this Stardust going? And then what are we going to do with those other ones that we completely maxed out? This is why I do not go nuts and power up a whole bunch. I may make a whole lot of them, in which I did make a ton of the for Alligators for trade material. I don't know what I was thinking. Same with the Sceptile. I was, hoping that I was going to be able to trade a bunch of people, but I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even really trade that often. So there you have it for the DPS for PvP and PvE. Swampert is going to be coming out on top over all of them. And if we quickly back out and go back into the PvE mode, so you can take a look one more time, Swampert with that water gun and hydro cannon pure water attacker will be coming in number 1. Yes, Empoleon is at the top, but that's going to be Metal Claw, and if you need water attack, Metal Claw is just simply not going to be doing that for you, especially if you're going up against like a fire type Pokemon. And before we take off, these are my Mudkips that I do have ready for the community day, including the lucky one, which is at a lower CP. Unfortunately, would have been great for the Great League, but what you're going to want to specifically look for in these Mudkips when you are shiny hunting or just regular hunting and evolve them to get that community day move for the Great League is somewhere around a 1 attack, anywhere near that, and then 15 defense and 15 stamina will be looking golden. So if you are able to find some of those and you're like, oh, the attack is so low, but it has high defense and stamina, but the CP is also low, guess what? You just came across something amazing. So hold on to that. That is exactly what you're going to want for PvP if it does land under 1500 for the Great League. Otherwise, this is going to be something you want to make a few of here and power up a couple as well. Not to mention the shiny variants. Personally, I really enjoy it. So with that said, trainers, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and I will be catching you all on my next video. Take care.